Today we're talking about creating the time that you need to do the things that you love. So I know for most of us at the moment, we're all living with very different restrictions in place depending on where we live. Some people are living life virtually normally, other people are under complete lockdown. It's a bit of a lottery as to where you are in the world as to what's happening. But time generally is at a premium these days. We're really lucky if we can find someone that just has free time to do whatever they like, because it's very hard to find someone that complains about having too much time on their hands. And most of us are so busy with work and family and other obligations that we have that there is really little time left to do the things that we want. So it's not easy to pursue your passions because you don't have enough time. But there's usually a way if you're truly serious. There is always a way for the committed. Definitely. So use these techniques to create the time that you want for important pursuits. So these are the things that you want to do in your life that you're struggling for time with at the moment. So the first thing to do is decide what you want to make room for. So the best way to motivate yourself to create more free time in your life is to identify what you want to make that time for. Do you want to learn the violin? Do you want to spend more time with your partner? Do you want to go out on hikes every day after you get home from work? Do you want to learn to cook? There's so many different things that you might want to do that you just need to make a choice. And, all those things that you've been putting off doing, you can do them. You just need to prioritize them if they're important enough. So the first thing to do, figure out how you'd spend that extra time and make sure that you have good reasons, because you need a list of reasons that give you an emotional response. Being logical and saying, oh, I need to learn how to plaster so that I can plaster that wall. Well, yeah, that's very logical. Are you going to get around to it? Probably not. Are you going to end up getting somebody in to do it? Probably, after you've made a complete hash of it. So why not cut out the middleman? Waste time. Don't waste time. Don't waste effort. Just get somebody in to do it. It's probably not as expensive as you thought. But what I'm saying is, being logical is really unlikely to actually inspire you to want to create more time to do these things. So it has to be something that you really want to do. It's going to benefit your life in some way. So the second thing is using your mornings wisely. Now, lots and lots of people waste their mornings. They stay in bed for as long as they can, and they barely make time to get to work each day on time. Make the most of your mornings. Go to bed earlier and get up earlier. I mean, generally speaking, what exactly are you doing in the evenings apart from watching TV, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, whatever? Can you watch those things anytime? Yeah, you can. So if you went to bed an hour earlier and got up an hour earlier, how much difference would that make to your routine to have an extra hour in the morning? And if you stopped hitting that snooze button on your alarm clock and actually got out of bed instead of just hitting the snooze button, how much extra time would that give you to get ready in the morning? So it requires discipline and it requires effort. But if it's worthwhile, if the goal that you want to achieve is worth achieving, then you will make it happen. So it's often easier to do something worthwhile in the morning than in the evening. And it's the time when you can probably deal with things in the quietest moment of your house. If you're up an hour earlier than the kids, you've got more time. If you're up an hour earlier than your spouse, you've got more time without them getting in your way. If you go to bed an hour earlier in the evening, does it make any difference to your life apart from giving you more time in the mornings? So it's definitely worthwhile thinking about. Now, number 3, understanding the ways that you waste time. Now, we're quite ingenious at wasting time. We're very good at it. And we're very good at telling ourselves that we don't have enough time for anything. If you actually did like a time and motion study on yourself for a day and just kept note of all of the things that you're doing to waste time during the day, When you understand where your time is leaking, you can start working on solutions. But until you find out where that leak hole is, it's like trying to fix a puncture in a bike tire without looking at where the hole is. You can't. You have to find the hole to be able to repair it. So this is the same kind of exercise. You've got to find the hole. You've got to find where the time is leaking out. So my days tend to be quite, sort of upside down. I talk to people later on in the day or in the evenings. My mornings tend to be more my free time. And the mornings is probably when I feel kind of the most energetic, if I can coin that phrase. Energy isn't something that is my friend, but it does make a difference. Is really what I'm trying to say, is find that leaky hole and put a plug in it. So number 4, talking about putting a plug in it, making a schedule. So the purpose of a schedule is to keep you on track and to help ensure that your time is being used or spent wisely. A schedule can help minimize the amount of time that you waste, and you can also build your time into your schedule to do the things that you enjoy the most. It could be, I know that for people with chronic fatigue, it's quite often a model used called spoon theory, which is if I give you 12 spoons in the morning, you've got those 12 spoons and only those 12 spoons to use during the day. So if you use 2 for a shower, well, then you're down to 10. If you use another one making breakfast, then you're down to 9. So you've already dropped like a quarter of your spoons before you've even kind of finished breakfast. So you need to start, eking out that time using those spoons a little bit more carefully. So if you think of your hours like spoons, you start your day with, sleep 8 hours, you've got 16 spoons. So work out what you're going to use those 16 spoons on, those 16 hours on. Number 5, delegating. So you can create more time in your life by utilizing the people around you. And this can work at work and at home. And there's a good chance that someone in your life has time on their hands. And if it's your co-workers, your children, your partner, a little help can free up quite a bit of time. There is no law that says that you have to do everything. Okay? So when you're pegging washing out on the line and somebody else is sat there watching TV, they can come and help you. There is no reason not to. I bet it's their washing too. When there's, when there's washing to be out, I know with my son, he's 19, and we had the conversation the other week where I said, just because you're my son does not make me my usual. There we go. There's my blah blah moment. It does not make me your slave. Therefore, from now on, I would like you to do your own washing. Absolutely fine. He didn't mind. Not a problem at all. He was quite happy. People are happy to take advantage as long as you're quite happy to keep on doing it. And they won't actually offer to take it back off you until you actually tell them. So while you're sitting there kind of grumbling or complaining about having so much to do and everybody around you has got nothing to do. I mean, set a power hour on Saturday morning. Right, everybody grab a duster, grab a hoover, grab a toilet brush. Right, we've got an hour. Put the fast music on and let's go. If there's 5 of you in that family, that's easy. That gets all the housework done. And then all you need to do during the week is just everybody keep on top of it. I'm not saying just you should do everything, because you shouldn't. If there's other people living in the house, then they play their part. Even a 2-year-old can walk around with a duster and they'd probably enjoy it. So, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for other people to be lazy when there's work to be done. So, number 6, prioritize and eliminate. So maybe you've got things going on in your life that just have no reason to be there anymore. So it might be time to cut back on some of those obligations and take a look at everything that you have to do each day, week, month, and think about how much value those things add to your life. You can probably find something to remove from your life that actually is serving no purpose anymore. And the question that I ask myself is this moving me closer to my goal? Yes or no? If it's a yes, great. The speed doesn't matter. If it's a no, okay. Then I look at how I can drop it. So I have a wonderful lady that comes in every week, and she does jobs that would take me hours to do, because physically I would really struggle to do them. And she does them in a couple of hours, and that saves me so much time. If the car needs washing, I'm not going to spend hours trying to wash it on the drive and crippling myself trying to do it. No, I'll take it to the car wash. The oven needed cleaning. There's a very nice man came round and cleaned it for me. Yes, it cost me some money, but you know what? I don't have to do it. It would have taken me hours. It would have taken me hours because I wouldn't be able to do it for that long. So there's lots of things that you can prioritize, and sometimes we think that we can't pass out some of those jobs to other people, when in reality, for pretty much every job that needs doing, there will be somebody willing to do it. Whether it be taking the dog for a walk, whether it be cleaning the house, whether it be childminding, looking after the kid for an hour or two after school, 1 or 2 days a week, to just give you time to do the things that you need to do. There is always a solution. So always a solution if you're committed enough. So number 7, multitask. I have mixed feelings about this one. Multitasking sometimes, and this is just a sometimes, helps. So you might make phone calls or do important reading while sitting on an exercise bike. That's fine. Get your exercise while taking the dog for a walk. Make a few phone calls while you're waiting in line. You can even work on your tan and mow the grass at the same time. Those kind of multitaskings I'm fine with. I couldn't say that word then. I'm fine with. If I asked you to look after your child and try and put together a very important contract, no. I don't agree with multitasking for those things. Both of those need individual attention. But when you've got things like reading that can be done whilst you are pedaling on your exercise bike, great. If you can listen to a podcast on the way in or out of work in the car, that's fine. Those things are easy fixes, things that don't need too much attention, that you can re-listen to, reread, whatever, if your attention does get pulled away. But certainly would not advocate doing things that are dangerous whilst you are trying to do multitasking, because that just doesn't work. So if you have a good enough reason, you will always find time. And you need to determine what you want to create time for and make it happen. And you can delegate, you can schedule, you can eliminate, you can avoid wasting time. And it's been said that the average life is plenty long enough, provided you don't waste any time. So what are you willing to give up to spend time on the things that you love?